The night was thick with the scent of fear, the clashing of swords, and the burning of homes. Ojadili, barely able to move in his prison cell, could hear the screams of the defeated. The walls shook as victory songs echoed through the air, and the guards whispered of King Ikenga's cruel triumph. Nri had fallen, but something else stirred that night, something no one could have predicted. A week before, the village square of Nri had been alive with joy. It was the annual wrestling festival, where the best athletes and dancers came to celebrate. Ojadili, a 23-year-old stranger, stood in awe, watching the colorful Igbo maidens perform a beautiful dance. The rhythm of the talking drum, the swirl of vibrant rappers, the energy, it captivated him. This year was special. Machi, an 18-year-old princess, was performing her first come-to-age dance. Rumor had it that Machi was the most beautiful girl in the kingdom, with her beauty spoken of in faraway lands. As the crowd gathered, eager to witness her debut, another story lingered in the background, one of jealousy and bitterness. Uju, Mamachi's 20-year-old stepsister, had always been overlooked. Their father, the king, favored Machi, and it wounded Uju deeply. While Machi was celebrated for her beauty, Uju was left in the shadows. Her resentment festered, and she conspired with the musicians to ruin Machi's special moment. When the time came, Machi stepped into the circle, her movements poised, ready to shine. But something was wrong. The drums beat off rhythm, the melody jarring. The dancers stumbled. Machi, her face full of confusion, faltered, her steps slow and awkward. The crowd murmured, and Uju smirked. Then, from within the crowd, a soft, melodious tune floated through the air, a flute gentle and sweet. Ojadili emerged, playing his oja, a traditional Igbo flute. The notes filled the air, harmonizing with Mamachi's spirit. She regained her confidence, her feet moving in sync with the enchanting music. The crowd was stunned as Mamachi danced like never before, her grace and beauty shining. When it was over, applause thundered through the square. Mamachi approached Ojadili, her heart fluttering. "Thank you," she said softly, noticing the handsome stranger for the first time. Their eyes locked, and something deeper passed between them, something neither of them could ignore. Back at the palace, the king was impressed by Ojadili's flute playing. He ordered a grand feast, and invited the young man to his court to reward him. But days passed, and Ojadili was not summoned. The king was preoccupied. Rumors of an impending war with the powerful King Ikenga weighed heavily on his mind. Nri's future hung in the balance. Ojadili, however, was given quarters in the palace, as no one could leave or enter the kingdom under the king's decree. During this time, he and Mamachi grew closer. They would walk together in the palace gardens, talking, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. Ojadili would play his flute for her, and she would dance, her movements full of life and joy. He told her stories, strange, haunting tales of spirits and the mysteries of the world. Though the stories frightened her, she found comfort in his presence. But not everyone was pleased with their blossoming love. Uju's jealousy burned hotter with each passing day. She couldn't bear the thought of Mamachi having everything, beauty, their father's love, and now, Ojadili's attention. One night, unable to control herself, Uju sneaked into Ojadili's room. She lay next to him, kissing his neck and whispering his name. Startled, Ojadili woke, thinking it was Machi. When he realized it was Uju, he leapt from the bed, shocked and disgusted. But Uju was not done. She screamed, alerting the palace guards. "Help! He attacked me!" she cried. The guards rushed in and seized Ojadili, dragging him to the dungeon. The next morning, the king summoned him to the court. When Ojadili entered the throne room, The king's face paled. He couldn't believe what he saw. Ojadili was the spitting image of the king's predecessor, a man the king had betrayed and killed to take the throne, a secret buried deep in the king's past. He couldn't explain it, but fear gripped him. He ordered Ojadili to be beaten, demanding to know who he really was and what his purpose in the palace was. Ojadili said nothing. No matter how much they tortured him, he remained silent. Machi begged her father to stop, but he refused, blinded by his fear and guilt. In the dungeon, Ojadili lay battered and broken, his strength fading. Mamachi visited him, bringing water and tears. "Please drink," she begged, but he shook his head. Instead, he asked her to fetch his flute. She did, promising to save him, though she didn't know how. 2 nights later, war came to Nuri. King Ikenga's forces swept through the kingdom, burning and destroying everything in their path. The palace guards fell, and the king was captured. Ojadili listened to the chaos, waiting. When it was quiet, he began to play his flute, a haunting, eerie tune. Thunder cracked the sky, and the prison doors trembled before shattering open. The guards and prisoners watched in awe as Ojadili, still playing his flute, disappeared into the mist. By dawn, Ojadili stood before the king's court, holding the severed head of King Ikenga. The people of Nri trembled before him, knowing they were in the presence of something greater than a man. Ojadili was crowned king, and he married Princess Machi. Together they ruled Nuri, their love and power unshakable. But the legend of King Ojadili, the boy raised by spirits, had only just begun. The saga continues. Subscribe and follow for more amazing stories.